Hello everyone, what is up? Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. Today we're going to be talking about what's happening with XRP in the XRP community. Now, as we can see in CoinMarketCap, XRP looks to be stable at 18 cents, as for many of the other coins as well. If we go to Mr. Level Up's tweet, XRP in the crypto market, is that one day trying to throw us off? I think so.
Hey, what's up, XRP community? I want to give you guys an update on something I think that is going to happen. Obviously, you guys know I'm bullish, looking for some big upward movement. We've been watching this fractal kind of drag out. The full fractal we've been following for well over 30 days now, that right there. We're looking for more of that big upward movement. It's at that moment. So what I wanted to share with you guys, this is outside the other coins. Been looking at the other coins. I see most of them all have the strong potential to go up. There's a couple I can see that kind of pull down a little bit. That's if I'm not. I can see both sides. Like I can see that with BTC downward movement. I can see a little bit of a Ethereum downward movement. That's it, but it's very temporary. I'm not fully sold on it yet. I just want to give you guys, my brain's running, I'm looking. But what I want to point out here is I think the one day is maybe full. I don't say fooling people, but there's something that's showing that is not going to be fully accurate. Now, many people might look at this and say, okay, the one day on the stochastic probably is going to come back down here, which is what I'm talking about. It's kind of throwing smoke. And also, if you look at the MACD, it's looking like it's curling over. It's like, oh yes, it's going to curl over. It's going to go down. We're gonna dump here, and this is going to come down and dump. And I think that's bogus. I actually think that this is actually, there's a hidden line here, and it's gonna stop right here and turn up. I think this all turns up and heads this way. I think this turns up, and I think this turns up. So anything momentarily, I think is bogus. I think that all turns up, because if I go to the 23, just take 1 hour off. I got something here that's like, all right, well, this thing is wanting to turn up. Don't mind this line down here. That was for the one day, but this is wanting to turn up. And I just seen on other scales, we were just looking at Nano, and Nano is obviously showing that too. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, look at Nano down here. Is at the 23. This thing wants to curl up. I just see a lot of these doing that. So I'll go ahead and end this because I don't get much, and you're going to get that over here too. I don't get much time, but I'm seeing that. It's like, it looks like it's going to curl up right there, and it's looking like it wants to. So we'll see. But I think this all goes up. There's a couple that look like it might slip down a little bit, super momentarily. I don't think it lasts. I think we go up.
The daily chart looks like the indicators will go down, but then if you take 1 hour off, it looks like we're going to go up, as you guys can see from here, Nano. But it's quite interesting how 1 hour can change a lot of the indicators. Before we jump into news, I'd like to say I'm not a financial advisor, nor this financial advice is just for entertainment value only. The cryptic poet tweeted out, you want to know who are the biggest winners during a recession? It's those who take leaps when everyone else is running away. Look at this, guys. We all know the Wall Street cheat sheet right here. But remember, in a recession, depression, a lot of people sell. Look at that. Right here, many people sell. But look what happens next, guys. We start a new bull run. Next we comes from Boy XRP, Part 1, 2017.
It's such an odd statement, because we're obviously so far away from anything like that. So I wonder how he reconciled that in his mind. Okay, one issue which, well, you've obviously written on getting back to actual sound money, which from the federal policy standpoint seems almost impossible at this point, or not on the table. What do you make of the pressure on the Federal Reserve to compete with these private currencies, right? So I'm sure people have been asking about cryptocurrencies all over the place, but will that be a force for good, for at least imposing some competition or some incentive to compete on the Federal Reserve?
I definitely think allowing currency competition would be a very positive thing to do. And I must say I've been pleasantly surprised. During the transition, we were examining some of these issues. I was working on the Trump transition team assigned to the Treasury Department to advise on international financial issues. The advent of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, of course, have gotten a lot of attention, and people wondered what ultimately would be the response of governments, particularly the United States, where we issue the world's dominant reserve currency. At what point are they going to say we will restrict the use of these currencies. And the Federal Reserve weighed in on this and was surprisingly willing to accommodate fintech and the new advances, blockchain technology. They did not want to be intimidating to how this new approach to a payment system might evolve, and I think that's to their credit. So I suppose if it becomes a real threat, we could see whole debates over what should be allowed as legal tender. But I will say I found it very interesting in...
Now that is part one. That connects to the next tweet, part two.
Would have been against it. So the trend changes, and just now, if economists now say, no, we don't want to talk about stable exchange rates, or anything related to gold is somehow nostalgic or backward looking, I think they're not being sophisticated in a way and thinking forward to what kind of a future world with globalization, what you could use if you wanted to have a neutral, unified money system, if you wanted to have a common reference point with no political baggage, that is, it wasn't dominated by any one country. But the fact that gold is acknowledged around the world and it is priced in any currency, if countries or even private cryptocurrencies used gold as a reference point, and in order to trade you had to have some kind of ability to relate currencies with reference to that common denominator, now I think you're talking about a logical unified monetary system. After all, you need to have a unit of account in order to be able to evaluate whether you want to buy a product or not. Free markets cannot work unless money has clarity in serving as a price signal by which it conveys to all market participants, the suppliers and those who are demanding products, the same message. So for monetary consistency, and I think to have a rational approach to globalization and an open global marketplace, you have to have some sense of a common monetary unit of account. And if someone could come up with something better than gold, I'm all ears. But
if someone can come up with something better than gold, then I'm all ears. Again, the reference point for gold. Next week comes from XRP Stewart.
And immediately find the partner that best fits your business goals. Get to know your potential partner, their capabilities, and perform the necessary due diligence, all within RippleNet Home. Then send a request to get connected instantly. Receive new opportunities to connect with RippleNet members that can offer you low rates and instant settlement with on-demand liquidity. And immediately find
ODL available USD, MXN, AUD, AUR, PHP. Ripple plans to expand in 2020. This year, we're going to see a lot of changes happening in the space. Next, it comes from the Bearable Bull. This is the most important XRP tweet today. They are almost out of available XRP to purchase. There will be a point where they have to buy from the people. The price will launch when they buy XRP off public exchanges. It's almost time. Now, Kevin K tweeted this out. We can see all these numbers. CoinMarketCap minus that. Ledger exposed. And 3 billion XRP left circulating. Market cap and then that 8.3 billion. Interesting. So time is running out. There's only that many XRP left to purchase. Now guys, we're into the fun part of XRP and the XRP community. Now this is quite interesting. We could see here this post from January 9th, a while back, from David Schwartz, and then somebody replied, David Schwartz is bearable guy, and then he replied back yesterday, try to convince my wife I'm bearable. Now that's quite interesting because why would he reply this late and to a tweet that's months ago, right? Next it comes from Black Stack Shaman. We can see here that right there. And then themes include transformation, technology, structure, money, banking, finance, earth shaking, judgment, change in routine, setting in motion, expansion, food. Expect major changes to the financial system. XRP. So there you go, guys. 4/22/2020. It comes from Luminous Design. The moment when you are bored and while waiting for a dump to fill your bags. So that's a cool animation right there. So it begins. Baba Cux has tweeted out many things. We can see phase 1 is almost complete. We're just getting started, Mike. Phase 2 will be a hell of a ride. So look at that, telling us to buy XRP. But if we go up here, final tip for today's video, 2020 will be a year you will never forget. Global, we could see that. Global economic collapse, new monetary system, all riddlers become true. Q becomes real. XRP go boom. So 2020, this is the year. This is the year. But anyways, guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you guys did, please leave a like, subscribe if you guys haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day. And then guys, see ya.